Okay, welcome to an impromptu edition of social distancing story time. Oh, we're a little cockeyed on this guy. It's a little crooked, huh? We decided, because we've got a couple of kids who feel a little punk today, a little off. We're just chilling in the backyard, and we were going to read some books, and we said, why not have some friends join us for book reading? So if anyone is bored on this beautiful Sunday, which you're probably not, or maybe you'll catch up with it in a couple of days, here are some books. We think we've got 4 that we haven't read before, and then we're going to come in with a big finish with one of Evie's favorites that we've definitely read before.
Miss Nelson!
The classic Miss Nelson collection. All right, so let's kick it off. We've got...
This is my favorite Miss Nelson.
This is Helga Makes a Name for Herself by Maynor and illustrated by Kaban. Guys, you may want to move your position because the pictures are going to be pointed toward the camera, dudes. You may want to go sit in the chairs over there. Young Helga loved to hear the sagas of her favorite Viking warrior. She begged for them at bedtime. Tell me the one about Ingrid and the bear. And fish pickling time. Tell me the one about Ingrid at sea. And during her monthly bath. Monthly bath? Tell me the one about how she became Ingrid the Axe. After Helga made herself a helmet and one for her pet Wolverine, she asked her mother, "What do you think my warrior name will be?" "Oh, Helga, you're a farmer's daughter, not a warrior." Helga built herself a shield and one for Wolvie and asked her father, "What do you think my warrior name will be?" Helga's father laughed. "Warriors do not come from small mountain villages like ours." Helga forged herself a sword and one for Wolvie and asked her neighbor Sven Longbeard, "What do you think my warrior name will be?" "Yes, I'll take some tea." I think he's hard of hearing. "Helga," called her mother, "time to do your chores." Helga raced up steep hills to graze the sheep as though enemies were in pursuit. She chopped wood, imagining she was breaking open a treasure chest. And when her work was done, Helga and Wolvie reenacted the great battles of Ingrid the Axe, making them even greater. One Thursday, word reached Helga's farm that Ingrid the Axe was looking for new warriors, and her ship would be arriving soon. Holy Valhalla! Faster than Valkyries fly, Helga and Wolvie donned their full battle gear. "Helga," said her father, "that contest is not for you." "Helga," said her mother, "remember who you are." "Yeah," said Helga, "I'm a warrior." Where's the wild boar? Yeah, I don't think he can hear very well. In the port city, Helga and Wolvie saw more young Vikings than they'd seen in their entire lives, along with real helmets, painted shields, and shiny swords. The other Vikings saw Helga and Wolvie, too. What is she wearing? Is that supposed to be a helmet? What's wrong with her cat? It's not a cat at all, is it?
It's a Wolverine.
It's a Wolverine. A horn sounded. A giant voice boomed, "Gather round!" Helga gasped. Ingrid the Axe. Wolvie fainted. "I'm looking for swift, mighty, clever warriors," said Ingrid. "Prove yourself and join my crew." "Yah!" the young Vikings cheered. "First, a race," said Ingrid. Helga took her place at the starting line. "Ready? And go!" After years of running up the mountainside, Helga was fast. But when her homemade helmet slipped, Olaf pulled ahead. "You," Ingrid pointed her giant hand at Olaf. "Olaf, the swift. Join me." Next, battle axe bullseye. Helga had swung an axe plenty of times. How different could it be to throw one? Boonk. Ooh, a bit different, it turns out. Sigrid threw a bullseye. "You," Ingrid pointed her giant hand at Sigrid. "Sigrid, the sure shot. Join me." Last, sword fighting. Helga squared off against Magnus. The other Vikings laughed. This should be quick. Hiss. Helga showed her teeth. Magnus jumped back. They circled each other. Clink, clink, clunk, clunk. Helga got low and prowled in close. She tweaked Magnus's nose. Hey! Helga tapped Magnus's shoulder, then spun him around. Magnus turned and tripped. Helga pounced on her opponent and howled, "Arrgh!" "What happened?" asked Magnus. "You!" Ingrid pointed her giant hand at Helga. "You fight like a wolverine." Wolvie stood tall. Ingrid continued, "Helga, wait!" Helga's parents came charging down the hill. "She won't bother you anymore," said Helga's mother. "We'll take her home," said Helga's father. Said Ingrid. "I was about to say, Helga the Howler. Join me." "Our Helga?" asked her mother. "Is that a warrior's name?" asked her father. "Yeah." "Yeah? Yeah." "No." "Yeah, sure, you betcha." "Yeah, that sounds right." Helga stood before her stunned parents. "I am a farmer's daughter. I am from a small mountain village, and I am a warrior." Helga and Wolvie howled together. "Oh, oh, thank you for that Wolvie help." "You don't have to shout about it." "Oh, so now this guy can hear, huh?" Helga the Howler went on to sail the whole flat earth, first with Ingrid the Axe, later on her own ship, and finally as commander of her own fleet of ships, Wolvie ever at her side. In fact, to this day, young Vikings beg to hear the sagas of Helga during their nightly baths, at pickling time, and at bedtime. Tell me the one about how she became Helga the Howler. I think we've got a dead mouse somewhere around here. Every time the wind changes, it's a little stinkerooski. It's a lovely backyard, but you never know what you're going to find after winter.
Creepy carrots.
Oh yeah, this one is called Creepy Carrots. It's a Caldecott Honor book, which means that it is being honored for its illustrations, I think. The words are by Aaron Reynolds, and the pictures are by Peter Brown.
Creepy carrot. Creepy carrot. Creepy carrot.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of a creepy carrot? Let's find out. Let's find out more. Jasper Rabbit had a passion for carrots, and the carrots that grew in the Krakenhopper field were the best. Crisp and free for the taking. He pulled some for a morning snack on the way to school. He yanked out a few on his way to Little League practice, ripped them from the ground on his way home at night. Jasper couldn't get enough carrots until they started following him. What? He first noticed something strange after the big game against the East Valley Hares. Jasper was about to help himself to a victory snack when he heard it. The soft, sinister tunk, tunk, tunk of carrots creeping. He turned. There was nothing there. Just my imagination, he thought. But he hopped a little bit faster. That night, as he was brushing his teeth, there they were! Jasper whipped around, but nothing. He laughed at himself. Picked his toothbrush off the floor and went to bed. Quickly. The next morning, he approached the Krakenhopper field slowly. He reached for 2 wild carrots. Nothing happened. He bit into one. Nothing happened. Whew. Creepy carrots. It was ridiculous. But when he arrived home that evening, "Mom! Mom!" Jasper screamed. "Creepy carrots in the shed!" His mom opened the door slowly. There weren't any carrots. Not even the regular kind. Look, there's some orange things in the shed. He must have been mistaken, right?
No.
Later, I don't know. Later that night, as Jasper lay in bed, he heard it. Breathing. Terrible, carroty breathing. And there on his wall,
Look.
"Creepy carrots!" he shouted. "Dad! Dad!"
The creepy carrot turned into this bucket.
His dad thumped into his bedroom and threw on the light. They searched under the bed, No creepy carrots. They looked through the closet. No creepy carrots. They opened the dresser drawers. No creepy carrots.
Can I just go wait?
Okay, be careful.
Oh, it's way too
Just a bad dream, son, his dad said, shaking his head. Now go to sleep. That wasn't going to happen. By the end of the week, Jasper was seeing creepy carrots creeping everywhere. But are they carrots or just drapes? Are they carrots or just some soda bottles? Carrots or some nice flowers? I don't know. Seems easily explained. Jasper knew his parents were wrong. Creepy carrots were real, and they were coming for him. But they couldn't get him if they couldn't get stashed. Come on, man. They couldn't get out. No one said you were the worst, bud, but just, you can't put your foot on that. Stash, take your foot off, please. Okay.
If they couldn't get out.
If they couldn't get out, they can't creep. Oh, boy. Holy smokes. Yes, Meredith, we're reliving 2020, apparently, over here. Eve, can you get off the table? Guys, you can't be on the table. It's not gonna work with the balancing act we got. The delicate balancing act we got here. We got a hat keeping the phone from overheating. All right, I'm gonna put this book underneath. Try and balance a little better on that. Is that gonna help? Oh boy, everything's off now. Everything's off. I screwed it all up. Isn't it fun watching me adjust this? So fun. The funnest.
Not fun.
Not that fun. No, not that fun. I can't get it balanced. Oh boy. All right. Where were we? Jasper knew his parents were wrong. Creepy carrots were real, and they were coming for him. But if they couldn't get him if they couldn't get out. Right, Eve? Right. Jasper hatched a plan. First thing on Saturday, he grabbed supplies and headed to Krakenhopper Field. He's measuring, checking the level, cutting some wood, digging a big moat, it looks like, filling it with water, some hammering. This is a big construction project. As the sun finally set across Krakenhopper Field, Jasper Rabbit smiled. On his way home, there was no tunk, tunk, tunk. There were no carrot-shaped shadows. His plan had worked. No creepy carrots would ever get out of that carrot patch again. And as the sun finally set, the carrots of Krakenhopper Field cheered! Their creepy plan had worked. They were sure of it. Jasper Rabbit would never get into that carrot patch ever again. Wait a second, so there were creepy carrots? They were real the whole time? I don't know. I don't want to run into creepy carrots, do you? No, thank you. This is Watercress by Andrea Wang, pictures by Jason Chen. And we just got this book. It's a Caldecott Medal winner. It's a Newbery Honor book, and it's a Picture Book Award winner too. And we got this book thanks to my friend Jack Thurston, who works at NBC 10. He interviewed Jason Chen because the illustrator of this book is from Vermont. And so that's how we heard about it. And we thought, well, if it's good enough for a Caldecott Medal, then maybe we should check it out, right? We are in the old Pontiac, and the red paint faded by years of glinting Ohio sun, pelting rain and biting snow. The tops of the corn stalks make lines that zigzag across the horizon. Mom shouts, "Look!" and the car comes to an abrupt, jerking stop. Mom's eyes are as sharp as the tip of a dragon's claw. Dad's eyes grow wide. "Watercress," they exclaim, two voices, heavy with memories. From the depths of the trunk, they unearth a brown paper bag, rusty scissors, and a longing for China. They haul us out of the back seat. We're told to untie our sneakers, peel off our socks, and roll up our jeans. We have to help them gather it. The water in the ditch is cold. It stings my ankles, and the mud squelches up between my toes. Do you know that feeling of walking in mud in bare feet? Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it between my toes. A car passes by and I duck my head, hoping it's no one I know. My parents cut bunches of the small plant, long stringy stems with leaves round as coins. My big brother yanks watercress up by the handful, roots dripping dirty water onto my shirt, and thrusts it close to my face. There are tiny snails clinging to the underside. I squirm away. The bag in my hand grows heavier and heavier with the weight of all the watercress. The paper is soaked, and I'm half afraid, half hopeful that the bottom will split, sending all the plants back into the muck. Finally, we load everything, the soggy bag, my sopping shirt, our sodden selves, into the car and head home. Our original destination is long forgotten, a memory of something unfinished. On the dinner table that night is a dish of watercress, glistening with garlicky oil and freckled with sesame seeds. The mud and the snails are long gone, but I still don't want to eat it, any of it. I only want to eat vegetables from the grocery store. Mom and Dad press me to try some. It's fresh, Dad says. It's free, Mom says. I shake my head. Free is bad. Free is hand-me-down clothes and roadside trash heap furniture, and now, dinner from a ditch. Mom sighs and disappears into her room, returning with an old photo. My family, she says, from before. We stare. Mom never talks about her China family. She points to a small boy as thin as a stem of watercress. My little brother, your uncle. We hold our breaths. She never told us what happened to him. During the Great Famine, she says, we ate anything we could find. But it was still not enough. I look from my uncle's hollow face to the watercress on the table, and I'm ashamed of being ashamed of my family. I take a bite of the watercress, and it bites me back with its spicy, peppery taste. It is delicate and slightly bitter, like Mom's memories of home. Together we eat it all and make a new memory of watercress. Do you think in the end she felt not so embarrassed? She realized why it was important? Okay, here's the big finish, the Eve special request favorite story. All right, Eve, which one are we going to read the whole Miss Nelson collection, or which one do you want to read?
Miss Swamp.
Okay, well, she's in all of them. You want to read the first one, Miss Nelson is Missing? Okay, so this is by Harry Allard and James Marshall.
Was actually Miss Swamp.
Well, we don't want to ruin the big reveal. I think Stasha brought this book in to share at school because I see it has Stasha McGee written on the front. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling, paper planes whizzed through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school. Is that like either your classes? Is your class well behaved, Eve? How about you, Sta? Well-behaved class. Now settle down, said Miss Nelson in a sweet voice, but the class would not settle down. They whispered and giggled. They squirmed and made faces. They were even rude during story hour, and they always refused to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, said Miss Nelson. The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. Wow, yelled the kids, now we can really act up. They began to make more spitballs and paper planes. Today, let's be just terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. I am your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp. And she rapped the desk with her ruler. Where's Miss Nelson? Asked the kids. Never mind that, snapped Miss Swamp. Open those arithmetic books. Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. They could see that Miss Swamp was a real witch. She meant business. Right away, she put them to work, and she loaded them down with homework. We'll have no story hour today, said Miss Swamp. Keep your mouths shut, said Miss Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Miss Swamp. And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry, said Miss Swamp. Days went by and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. The kids missed Miss Nelson. Maybe we should try to find her, they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective McSmog was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. He said, I think Miss Nelson is missing. Detective McSmog would not be much help. That's what you call stating the obvious. Other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered the door. In fact, the only person they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. If she sees us, she'll give us more homework. They got away just in time. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids, but that didn't seem likely. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, said another kid, but that didn't seem likely either. I know, exclaimed one know-it-all. Maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But that was the least likely of all. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back, and they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. Here comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children, said someone in a sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson. Did you miss me? She asked. We certainly did, cried all the kids. Where were you? That's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about a story hour? Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. What brought about this lovely change? She asked. That's our little secret, said the kids. Back home, Miss Nelson took off her coat and hung it in the closet right next to an ugly black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. What do you think it means that there's an ugly black dress and a wig in the closet?
Miss Nelson was Viola Swamp.
Oh, P.S. Detective McSmog is working on a new case. He is now looking for Miss Viola Swamp. I think we'll save the rest of the Miss Nelson stories for later. I hope you enjoyed this episode somewhere in the high 50s, might be 57, of Social Distancing Story Time. It's been a while since we've done them, but boy, did we do a lot back in the beginning of quarantine. See you later.